how will AFCON / the Asian Cup, which is ongoing through January, February, affect the Premier League teams? Now, I've got a list of all the players who are out for different teams.
Okay.
Throughout the following 2 cups. And I mean, off the back, I guess you guys can just give your thoughts on how you think it will go. Do you think it's... Firstly, I guess, how do you think teams deal with it, especially with the ongoing injury crisis in a few teams?
See, I haven't really noticed it too much in the past. Have you? Like, previous years.
Are Norwich usually affected by it?
Surprisingly not. No, we haven't got obviously
surprisingly
considerations rule at Norwich. It's nothing to do with that. It's just that we just don't have any players really going. But I just feel like squads have enough depth now; they should be okay. But you've obviously got big losses like Son and Salah, being the 2 that come to my head straight away. And then obviously you mentioned, West Ham. So what do they do? So we've talked about the fact they've got strength in depth. So they've lost Paqueta now, but they've got Benrahma. What happens when Kudus goes?
Isn't Benrahma?
And Benrahma.
He's Algeria. Yeah.
And so also,
what do they do?
Maxwell Cornet and Naif Aguerd will all be out for West Ham. Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coastian. But I didn't think Cornet was still there, was he? I haven't seen him play.
Yeah, he's on the bench today. I'm sure he was.
Yeah, and then Aguerd as well. Aguerd's been one of the better players when he's been playing as well. So,
yeah,
I guess it depends. I guess you've got to think about, obviously, mainly for me and Liam, how it's affected your team before. So, personally, City. I think City's biggest absentees for these really. Obviously, nothing from Asia, but for Africa, we lost Yaya for a while.
Yeah.
And when Yaya Toure wasn't in the team, it was and then Riyad Mahrez. So when you, I guess Riyad Mahrez was less of a miss because he wasn't, with the amount of wingers we had, he wasn't consistently starting. But when Toure was gone, Jesus, it's bad. But I might be outing myself on a podcast here, but why is it played in January and not in the summer?
Do you want to play football in Africa in the summer?
I'd give it a go.
The World Cup was, wasn't it?
The World Cup was?
What, in Qatar in November?
No, South Africa. 2010.
Yeah, South Africa's not
got its own microclimate.
In that case,
no, it's not. It's not as hot as Sahara Africa. Wait, it was held in the summer in South Africa. Yeah. Think about Southern Hemisphere. What happens?
Yeah,
well, then
true.
In that case,
it's winter.
Play the AFCON in South Africa every year.
Yeah. There we go.
I fixed it for them.
Stupid. That's a stupid
suggestion.
Ashfield
as president of the African FA. I think he's got some great ideas.
The AFCON boss.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, my friend, you're too white for that.
Of course. Hey, look up
I wasn't going to
say
say
it. Trinidad. Yeah, of course it affects certain teams.
Who's going to be the biggest?
Do you want me to go through some most affected teams?
Yeah, go on.
So Forest is the most affected team, who have Serge Aurier, Willy Bolly, Ibrahim Sangori, Chekiate, Musa Niakate. Sorry if I butchered that one.
They're all starters as well.
Aina, Emmanuel Dennis, Taiwo Awoniyi.
He's injured,
isn't it? But that's all those players.
Look, they're all starters. That's crazy.
Yeah, half their team's gone.
But you've got
luckily, they have a squad of about 80 people, so they'll be fine.
There's that. They've now obviously got Nuno as well as the boss, so they'll get like 1 million Portuguese players soon. So that'll be fine. Yeah. in January, all the Portuguese will be coming. So they'll be affected. And they're obviously in a relegation scrap sort of thing, aren't they? So
yeah. I mean,
I guess
out of the
top
top
less
teams,
players going to the Asian Cup, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, there's not as many Asian players in the Premier League as African players, though, right?
No. So who will Spurs be missing then? Just
Spurs will be missing Sarr, Basuma, and Son. But that's our 2 holding midfielders and our main striker /captain.
Captain.
Like,
Yeah.
We
You've
actually
got to bring
don't.
in
We won't have a captain now because our captain and 2 vice captains are all injured or
You have to
going
have a
to
captain, mate. You can't have no
a cup.
captain. Captain,
Yeah, I
not
know.
captain.
Who's it going to be? Who's going to be captain? Ben Davies, I guess,
Yeah.
if he's still starting.
Yeah.
Ange.
Who'd you say?
Big
Ange.
Give it to Ange, mate.
Oh, man, I'm the captain now.
It's
Units.
just who we are, mate.
It's just what we do, mate.
I'm
But
in charge now, boy.
Spurs need to get some players in January, surely, straight away.
Yeah.
You can't just sign players to cover a month like.
No, but they need them anyway because look at the injury list they've got. And,
We need them. We need players anyway. Like a lot of our players, as shown today in previous games when we've had the injured players, we need more depth. Defensively, we need centre backs really because we're playing Emerson Royale at centre back and he's barely a right back. So, like,
He's a right winger.
yeah, I mean, for African Cup of Nations, Asian Cup, like the main teams that Liverpool might be affected a little bit. They're losing Salah and Endo as 2 immediate ones I can see, and then also Joel Matip. But I don't think Matip plays that often anymore, does he?
Have you ever
Newcastle?
Have you ever tried to sit and watch the African Cup of Nations?
No,
not really.
No, I used to watch it because when I was a kid, I was obsessed with watching Eurosport. There was always football on there. I just watch anything, and it actually seemed all right at the time. And then when I was working the bookies, when it was about 4 years ago, the football is so bad. It's so boring. The quality is just awful. Every game would be like no more than a goal or 2. Every game 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, 1-1, 0-0. Awful. So I said just cancel it.
you can't cancel it.
All right, playing South
Do you like
Africa.
cancelling the Euros?
Right, playing South Africa then.
Yeah.
They're your 2 options.
Fucking
Take
hell,
it or
mate.
leave it.
The world does not revolve around European football.
It should.
Well,
Were you about Newcastle? Are you going to
It
say about
should.
Newcastle?
yeah, Newcastle aren't actually missing anyone through either cup. So whether they're racist or people just don't want to move to Newcastle from abroad, I don't know.
Oh, definitely the second one. Probably the first one as well.
Might be a mix of both. Again, like the top teams.
The City,
Actually,
am I being stupid,
along
or
with
are we
New-
missing anyone?
I was about to say, along with Newcastle, Manchester City are also missing
I
their
don't
players.
Yeah, I don't think we were.
That's why you
But
got
not
Ramirez. See.
Yeah.
I mean, United aren't actually missing that many. They're missing
No.
Onana, which is blessing in disguise
That's
for
probably
them, really.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Keep him
Um,
there.
fuck him
Keep
off.
there. Don't bring him back.
What's that? The African Cup of Nations now lasts 4 months. What a shame.
Who's their backup? Who's their backup now?
Oh, God, I can't remember his
Dubravka?
name. No,
No, he's at Newcastle again,
he's Newcastle, mate.
He was at United. Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Tom Heaton.
No, it's not Butler.
No.
No, Bayern Deer.
Who?
I'll take Bayern. Yeah.
I'll
No
say
idea.
Bayern Deer. Tom Heaton's still there, but he's their 3rd choice.
Formerly of
Bayern, no
Fenerbahce.
idea.
No.
Of course, yeah.
So,
I know him well.
yeah, I mean, I think sort of just to round this segment up before we go on too long about it, I think it is something that's necessary for obviously the nations that are taking part. Like, you need to have that sort of cup go on, and the weather in the type of countries that play in these competitions means that it has to be during our season. It's a shame that it is for us, but for them, it's the chance to win silverware for your nation and have like the ultimate. It's like the Euros for like thinking about it,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's it.
And some teams are going to be affected. Some teams might do okay out of it and maybe find players come through that might not have played before, because obviously players are going to be starting more than just either a couple, like 15 minutes as a sub, or maybe one starting appearance when there's a minor injury.
Yeah, true. And obviously, if they go out of the competition, I assume they just come back earlier into the Premier League. Back to the, so
No, they
you
stay
kind
in
of,
Africa for 3 months.
so you kind of hope basically that South Korea do shit, Liam, and
The thing is, they'll probably end up winning it because it's South Korea, and like they're probably one of the better teams in that competition.
Indeed, I haven't actually.
Saudi Arabia in it though. Everyone fancies them to do something now because of all the money.
Oh,
Yeah, they
I
are,
don't
they
know
are.
actually.
They are in it, yeah.
Well, Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia.
They'll
Yeah,
be
they're
there as
sort of-
favourites, or just partly because not that you can sign international players with money, but they expect it to be the next Asian powerhouse, aren't
Yeah.
Mm.
Pakistan are favourites to win the Asia Cup. Apparently, I
What?
feel like this might be cricket.
they? That's
Yeah.
not football, yeah.
Yeah.
A single Pakistan player.
That's so funny.
It's not good times cricket, man. Come on.
No, it's
We'll,
not good times cricket. But yeah, we'll round it up there. It'll affect some teams
Yeah.
worse than others. That's all I'll say.